Hey, welcome. So, I want you to imagine that inside every single one of your cells, there's this huge, sprawling factory. Today, we're going to meet the two specialized workers that run the entire show, a duo that, even though they're on the same team, couldn't be more different. So, yeah, forget thinking about these things as just boring names in a textbook for a second. Picture a nonstop, bustling factory inside you, right now. And we're about to meet the absolute powerhouse team that runs the whole place. Okay, so the official science name for this factory is the endoplasmic reticulum, or just ER for short. And it's this massive, winding network of membranes tucked right up against the nucleus, the cell's main command center. Its whole job is to be the #1 manufacturing and transport hub for the cell. But here's the thing, the ER isn't just one single entity. It's actually a team of two totally different specialists. On one side, you have the rough ER, which is basically the cell's dedicated protein factory. And on the other, you've got the smooth ER, which acts as the cell's chemical workshop. They work together, but their jobs are worlds apart. So first up, let's meet the real heavy lifter of the team. This is the one that's responsible for the cell's main assembly line, the powerful, super productive rough ER. So why is it called rough? Well, it actually looks bumpy because its whole surface is studded with these tiny little dots. But those dots aren't just for show, they're its most important tools. They're called ribosomes, and they're the cell's dedicated protein-making machines. And that right there tells you everything you need to know about the rough ER's main job. And the process is just incredibly efficient. First, the nucleus, our command center, sends out the orders, the blueprints. Then the ribosomes all over the rough ER get to work, building those proteins exactly to spec. And finally, the ER ships the finished proteins over to the Golgi apparatus, which is kind of like the cell's post office for all the final packaging and delivery. So the bottom line is this. From the enzymes that make chemical reactions happen to the very building blocks of the cell itself, if it's a protein that needs to be shipped out or embedded in a membrane, the rough ER is where it all starts. All right, now let's meet the other half of our dynamic duo. If the rough ER is that super-focused assembly line worker, then the smooth ER is the cell's versatile, jack-of-all-trades master chemist. And you can see the key difference right away. The smooth ER gets its name because it doesn't have any of those ribosome dots. It has this clean, smooth surface, which tells us it's working with a completely different toolkit for a completely different set of jobs. And believe me, this thing is a serious multitasker. Its first big job is to make lipids. We're talking things like cholesterol and hormones. Its second job is to act as the cell's detox center, breaking down any harmful stuff that gets in. And its third job, which is especially important in muscle cells, is to store up calcium ions, which are absolutely critical for making our muscles contract. So you've got these two specialists working side by side. But the story gets even cooler when you start to look at some of the really surprising dynamics of this team. You see, the ER isn't just near the nucleus, it's physically attached to it. It has a direct line. That means instructions for making proteins and lipids can get from the command center to the factory floor almost instantly. The whole thing is designed for maximum speed. And to give you a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about, get this. In really productive cells, like the ones in your liver, this factory network is so enormous that it can take up more than half of all the membrane inside the entire cell. Just think about that. So why does this matter to you and your daily life? Well, think about the last time you took an aspirin or any other medicine. Your body sees that as a foreign chemical, and it's the smooth ER in your liver cells that kicks into overdrive to break it down and protect you. It is literally your own personal built-in detox system. But of all the cool facts, this one is just the most incredible. These two specialists, they aren't stuck in their roles. If a cell suddenly needs to pump out a ton of protein, parts of the smooth ER can actually grow ribosomes and turn into rough ER. And if the cell gets hit with a toxin, the opposite can happen. They are completely adaptable. Okay, let's bring this all home for one final review. We're going to look at the blueprint of this incredible team side by side. So let's break it down. On the left, you've got the rough ER. It's bumpy with ribosomes, and its one main job is making proteins. Simple. On the right, the smooth ER. Smooth surface, no ribosomes, and it's juggling three main jobs, making lipids, detoxifying, and storing calcium. It's just a perfect division of labor. So yeah, they look different and they have totally different jobs, but they are one deeply interconnected system. You've got a protein factory and a chemical workshop,
working in perfect sync. The cell just plain cannot function without both halves of this team.
And that kind of leaves us with a final, pretty wild thought. We just saw that on a microscopic level, your cells can literally rebuild their own internal machinery on demand. It's an absolutely incredible display of adaptation, which really makes you wonder, if your cells are that dynamic, what else is your body capable of?